shine. Welcome to story time. Rise and shine. Welcome to story time. Rise and shine. Welcome to story time. We're so glad you're here. Rise and shine. Welcome to story time. Rise and shine. Welcome to story time. Rise and shine. Welcome to story time. We're so glad you're here.
Good morning, boys and girls. Today we're going to be hearing stories about butterflies and also about metamorphosis. And metamorphosis means when an insect changes from one state to another state. And one of the most famous insects that metamorphose is the butterfly. And so we're going to take a minute to show you the parts of a butterfly. Okay, so since we are talking about butterflies, I thought I would first show you how to draw a butterfly, and then you can tell your parents some important facts about a butterfly. So first, we're going to draw a little tiny head, and then we're going to draw his thorax, and then we're going to draw his abdomen. Okay, so, and now we're going to put some antenna onto his head. Okay, so after you have draw his antenna, he has something that's called a proboscis, and that's what he tastes with. Okay, so a butterfly is transparent, and do you know that transparent means that you can see through it? So the butterfly has 4 wings. Some people think he only has 2, but he has 4 wings. So that's 1, 2. You see, you can do that. It's like little triangles. That's 3. And then there's 4. Those are the parts of a butterfly. Now, we can put designs on our butterfly. Even though he's transparent, there are over 20,000 different kinds of butterflies. That means that you probably don't see the same butterfly twice, because they're all flying around. So note, he has 1, 2, 3, 4 wings. He has an abdomen, he has a thorax, he has antenna, and he has a taster right there, a proboscis. Okay, now, what do we know about butterflies? They taste with their feet. They drink. They don't eat, they drink. So they drink nectar from what? Flowers. They have 4 wings and they are transparent, meaning that you can see through them. And they have all kinds of designs in their wings. So you can make squiggly lines and color them a different color. You can make fancy lines or whatever, but that's a butterfly. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about how they change from one thing to another thing. And that process is called metamorphosis.
Good morning, boys and girls. This week, our stories are going to be about butterflies and metamorphosis. So, I'm going to show you today the life cycle of the butterfly. And here, I have a diagram of the life cycle of a butterfly. But I'm going to break it down for you and show you what happens. Okay, so stage 1, the female butterfly lays an egg on a leaf or a plant. And you see these eggs? Caterpillars start out like eggs. The next stage is the caterpillar hatches, and he feeds on the leaf or the plant that the mama butterfly put the egg on. And he feeds on that until he gets big and fat like this. Can you be big and fat like a caterpillar? Good job. The next stage is when the caterpillar sheds its skin and it emerges into a chrysalis or a cocoon, and it stays there through all the winter. You see, he's in his little chrysalis or cocoon, as some people would call it. The next stage, the body of the chrysalis will break down and the butterfly pops out, or he emerges, and he's a beautiful butterfly. And then he flies away and he goes and he finds him a nice plants to land on, and then he goes and eats, and then he just flies away. I hope you enjoyed this life cycle of the butterfly. See you next week. Bye.
Hello boys and girls. Today I'm going to tell you about another animal that goes through metamorphosis. Frogs. They don't form cocoons like butterflies or insects, but they do change their shape quite a bit as they grow up. A frog's life cycle begins by laying eggs. They can lay thousands of eggs at one time. Embryos then begin to grow inside the eggs. These will eventually become adult frogs. The eggs hatch, and out swims a tadpole. They are very, very small and have no legs and a long, skinny tail. They look more like fish than they look like frogs. The tadpole grows bigger and sprouts 2 little pairs of legs. Now it looks more like a lizard in my opinion. The tadpole begins to grow bigger. It grows 2 more legs, and the tail starts to shrink. Now it's starting to look a little bit like a frog, and we call this a froglet. Finally, the frog grows very big. Its eyes bulge out and its tail shrinks. What's most important, though, is that it grows lungs and can now leave the water and breathe on land. Now we have an adult frog. This then happens all over again when an adult frog lays a new batch of eggs. That's why they call it a life cycle. Here's an extra bonus fact. Frogs shed their skins as they grow. What do they do with it, you ask? Well, they eat it, of course. Gross, huh? Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye now.
You may have heard that a caterpillar turns into a butterfly, but I have a silly story for you about when it doesn't quite happen like that. Once upon a time, there was a caterpillar that did everything she was supposed to do. She ate lots of leaves and stayed hidden so that people wouldn't grab her. She found a nice firm plant and made a cocoon. She dreamed of that day when she would be able to go high in the sky. The cocoon got bigger until one day, pop! Out came a puppy. What? I'm a puppy? A caterpillar can't become a puppy. No, 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 the puppy said as she tried to catch her tail, and she spun so fast that a cocoon formed around her again. This time the cocoon got bigger and bigger until, pop! out came a wolf. What? I'm a wolf? The wolf thought to herself. No, 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 the wolf said as she stayed up all night howling at the moon. By morning she was so tired that she lay down and a cocoon formed around her again. It got bigger and bigger and bigger until, pop, out came a horse. At this point, the caterpillar that had become a horse was quite upset. No, 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 the horse said as she stomped her feet and whinnied. Then she hung her head and fell asleep standing up and slept inside a big cocoon. This time, though, the cocoon got smaller. Pop! Out came a beautiful butterfly. She stretched out her wrinkly wings and let the breeze lift her into the sky. She flapped her wings in the wind. It felt good to fly. It felt natural. This, she said to herself, is what I was meant to be. The end.
Good morning again, boys and girls. Now that you've heard stories about butterflies and about metamorphosis, I want to show you what my butterfly looked like after I colored him. And see, he's nice and pretty, and we see all the parts that we were talking about. And you learned 4 facts, or you may have learned more than that. A butterfly has how many wings? I think I heard someone say 4. Right, he has 4 wings. And how does he taste? He tastes with his legs. And also, the other thing is that there are over 20 different types of butterflies. So your butterfly may not look the same as your neighbor's butterfly, but know that there are so many butterflies in the world, and that this is his abdomen, and this is his thorax, and these are his antennae. So, I hope you drew your picture while you were listening to the stories, or even after you finished listening to the stories, and you can draw a perfect butterfly. Now, in my basket, you see that there are all sorts of flowers. And guess who loves flowers? I think I heard someone say butterflies. Why do they love flowers? Because they like to get the nectar from flowers. They don't eat meat. They don't eat grass, but they drink for their nourishment. Okay? So, what books do we have about butterflies? Well, let me tell you about this book right here. Now, this book is over 50 years old, and it's called The Very, Very Hungry Caterpillar. And it's about metamorphosis. It's how a caterpillar changes into, who knows what a caterpillar changes into? He changes into a what? Butterfly. And it talks about all the stages. So you might want to come to the library and check out this book called The Hungry Caterpillar. Now, this book is called Thanks from the Very Hungry Caterpillar. You might want to check out that book. And then if you're interested in things about butterflies, and you heard a story that was kind of like this, it's called Born to Be a Butterfly. Now, everything wasn't born to be a butterfly, and I'm sure you heard that in Mrs. Savannah's story. So come and check out this book and see if you can understand why he was born to be a butterfly. And then this book is called Butterflies and Moths. Did you know that they weren't the same thing? Butterflies, you usually generally see them in the daytime, but moths you see at night. But this is an eyewitness book, and it has all sorts of pretty pictures that you might like to see and learn about butterflies and moths. And then this book is so pretty. It's called The monarchs are missing. A butterfly mystery. Do you know what mystery means? It's when you want to find out something you really don't know exactly how it happened. And so come and read this book. So we have all sorts of pretty books on butterflies, and butterflies are just so nice and light. And remember, we said they were transparent, meaning that you could see through them. So don't go out there trying to catch all the butterflies. If you touch them, you won't kill them unless you touch them really, really hard. But butterflies are pretty, and butterflies are beginning to be seen now because it's almost what? I have all flower colors. It's almost spring. Thank you.